I love you. Oh boy, welcome back, Couch Potatoes, to the, what is this, the 8th riveting episode of the James Bond playlist.
Is that true?
This is the 8th film. 8th film. 8th film in the franchise, 3rd Bond. Here we go. We're pumped for this one, guys. We are excited. We are ready. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
Yeah, and I am the Faceless Leon. This is a podcast about movies and TV called Green Faces on the Couch, and like you said, it's the 3rd Bond. This Bond, Roger Moore, took up the post of 007 after Sean Connery's return. Short-lived return.
His Grover Cleveland era, where he's like, I'm just going to take a bit of a break and let the other guy have it.
Is that what happened with Grover Cleveland? Or did he just get voted out and then people were like, bring Cleveland back?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was more like what happened was he got voted out and he was like, now don't you miss me? And they're like, yeah, kind of. Unlike a current situation.
Hopefully.
Certain presidents nowadays need to stay gone.
Please.
Just saying.
Please.
We don't want this repeat Grover Cleveland bullshit. Go to jail, you fuck.
Yeah, please.
I could go on for a long time about that, but I don't want to get him the time of the day.
Oops, let's cut that from the recording. He doesn't deserve it. Okay. We're angering somebody, I'm sure. Who cares?
But yeah, we're here with Live and Let Die, and I would have told you a long time ago that Live and Let Die is just a song by Paul McCartney and the Wings. I think he did it with the Wings. Maybe he just did a solo.
Yeah, he did.
But
no, it's the Wings. It was on the credits.
Yeah.
I
totally spaced. This whole movie, I spaced everything. But they used the fuck out of that song. It was written for this movie, apparently.
Well, that's because it's the catchiest one so far. Even beats Goldfinger. I mean, they got a genius to write the song. So, I mean, it's honestly one of my favorite songs. And I don't know. Yeah. I knew that this movie was titled Live and Let Die. And I also, that it existed. But I just didn't put two and two together. That every Bond movie has a song titled after the movie. And that the Paul McCartney song was for this.
Same boat. I never even knew. And then when it started playing, literally once the Bond, intro started, because they always had the most extravagant, very well fun shot. I'm kind of always into the next Bond movie solely for the intro, because I'm just like, oh, this would be fun. Let's see what they did. Yeah. And then once it happens after that, then it's just like, all right, brain, turn off. Okay. Just zone out and veg into this movie.
Yeah, I really kind of expected Blofeld to show up too. I'm just gonna spoil that at the start here. This ends the streak of Blofeld.
And I'm okay with that. I'm kind of happy that he didn't show up. I want Bond to, and maybe they will again. I haven't watched any of the Roger Moore. This is my introduction to Roger Moore, just as it was everybody else's back in 1970, 73.
I think so.
I love the intro. I didn't know it was, I wasn't expecting it. Once it started playing, I was just like, oh, I know this song. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, wow. Never knew that at all. It's so crazy. But yeah, and then they use it so much throughout the movie. During every action scene, you hear the beginning.
Did they use the other songs as frequently? Is it just because I'm so exposed to this song that I noticed it? Or is it just this movie? I don't think
they used them that frequently. I think they used it this frequently because it was Paul McCartney. They were like, we're getting our fucking money's worth out of this man. He probably cost a fourth of the budget.
Probably. Honestly,
we got one of the Beatles to fucking perform for us. They just quit not too long ago. This is exciting.
Roger Moore could do whatever the fuck he wants. We got Paul McCartney.
And speaking of Roger Moore, speaking of the casting, I read this right before we started recording here, and I thought that was hilarious. They apparently considered Steve McQueen and Paul Newman for the roles. And...
Aren't they American?
Yeah, exactly. And they also approached and were going to give the role to Burt Reynolds, but Burt Reynolds turned it down, saying that the role should be played by a British guy.
100%. Good call. Good call, Burt.
Yep, I agree. But then they approached a bunch of other people, and they even talked about Anthony Hopkins, but Hopkins thought he wasn't right for the role, and eventually, yada, 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 they found Roger Moore.
Could you imagine if he was James Bond and Hannibal Lecter?
I know, right?
That would have been amazing. Though I don't know. You might be right. He might not have been right for the role, but maybe I would have liked this movie more. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I feel like I would have been more interested because that was kind of the draw with Sean Connery was even if I wasn't liking the movies, I was still in it for Sean Connery because it's Sean Connery.
Right.
Like, that was real fun. And then, I mean, George Lazenby, at least his movie was fun, and I was interested in it.
Yeah.
But with Roger Moore's first movie, boy, I was like, I watched it all. I was paying attention as well as I could.
Right.
But man, I really did not give one fuck at all.
No, I sadly agree to say up front, it's not a great first introduction. Why don't you honestly probably are a little bit more fresh on this synopsis? Could you give us a synopsis of this story?
I will do my best. It is going to be very chopped and very blunt.
And first and foremost, add what I remember if I remember.
First and foremost, they brought back Guy Hamilton to direct, and Tom Mankiewicz wrote the script. It doesn't deal with crazy maniacal supervillain. You know, I mean, we already mentioned Blofeld's not there, but like no crazy maniacal supervillain, no like Dr. No, like end of the world kind of thing.
Well, not an end of the world kind of thing. You're right, but Mr. Big, I would still.
It's dealing with heroin sales. That's it.
Yeah, it's still fucked. With heroin
sales. It's still fucked, but it's just like, why is Bond taking down drug trafficking on his
and in America. Resume? And in America. Yeah. I can't remember why
Felix
he got
involved. This one.
Yeah, why did he get involved?
Well, he gets involved. He gets involved because 3 MI6 agents who, for some reason, were involved already themselves are killed in Jamaica, I believe. I can't remember where Dr. Kananga's headquarters is.
I think it was a made-up island nation.
Yes, you're right. San Monique, and a small Caribbean nation called San Monique. But I think it's made up because it's
I'm gonna do.
It doesn't give me the option to click on San Monique, so I just assume. But Bond goes down there to investigate why these people were killed. He meets up with for whatever reason he actually goes to New York first. This is one of the biggest problems of this whole movie. They bounce quickly between the Deep South, New York, and this small Caribbean island. Like they go back and forth so quickly that I don't know where anything takes place at all. And I kind of gave up after a while because it's just like one scene Bond seems like he's in New York. The next scene he's like escaping crocodiles in the South. And I'm just like, okay. Like people do have to travel and travel does take time. And like, we're not going to forget that in a film. So now all it does is just make it look stupid. Like it just makes it stupid and confusing. But anyways,
is fictional, by the way. I did just want to confirm that. And somebody made a map of it, and it kind of looks like a mix of Cuba and Hispaniola. If anybody knows geographic shapes, I guess.
Geography.
It's not. Yeah, geographic. That's right. That's the right term. Okay. I thought maybe I said geometric, and that's not the right term.
No, I was just saying geography in a stupid way.
Yeah, no worries.
But anyways, Bond goes to New York to do something there, meets up with Felix Leiter, who is now played by somebody new, I believe.
David
Hedison.
Thank you.
And he does a decent job as the new Felix Leiter.
Sure.
Probably only in it for one role because, everybody changes their face in between movies. But whatever. In New York, when Bond gets there, he's attacked. I remember that. There's a car chase.
Right.
Bond escapes it like Bond does. It was a decent car chase, I believe. But Bond tracks that killer to Harlem. He goes deep into Harlem and meets with... Is that where he meets... Hold on. He meets Mr. Big. He meets Mr. Big there.
He does, but there's that's the penultimate... That's not the penultimate. That's where this venture into Harlem leads. He's looking for Mr. Big, and he talks to a whole bunch of different people to get there. That's what I remember about it.
Right.
But and then once he finally gets there, Mr. Big is like, get rid of this honky ass.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Is this movie is very much kind of. I mean, I don't want to say it's. I guess appropriating is probably the best word. It's appropriating blaxploitation films. It seems like it's trying to be a.
Yeah, it's trying not to be offensive. It seemed like they were like, hey, we want to make a Bond movie where we can have a lot of black people in it so that, we can say that we're giving people jobs. And then, but we gotta be careful. We gotta be careful. But they are just, right on that fucking line the whole time.
Oh, yeah. The whole time. They do, to give it credit, they do have the first black Bond girl who, gets to be seduced by Bond. So it's she then eventually betrays Bond.
Yeah, she dies rather shortly afterwards. Spoilers.
Take Bond's penis and it's a death sentence. That's what it is.
I'm trying to find...
But they also, all the villains are black people. Bond, they also bring back, what's his name? He was in an earlier film. He, a helper of Bond, a
Coral,
friend.
Yes. I don't know if it's the same Coral, but... Roy Stewart plays Coral, and if I recall, in the last time he was in it, he had a thicker island accent than Roy Stewart is putting on, but I think it's a different person.
He was in Dr. No. That was the first time, and in Dr. No, he was played by John Kitzmiller.
And I really thought that Coral died in that movie.
I kind of thought that too, but when they brought him back and he was like, my friend Coral, I was like,
oh, right. Cool. Yeah, that's how nice. I felt. Yeah.
That's cool. And he has a bigger role in this too. It did seem like they were trying to give the black actors they hired, the black characters they had written, they tried to give them something to add to the script because Worrell adds a lot, especially at the end. He actually does things to help Bond succeed at the end.
Yeah.
And they don't really do much honestly with who's the Bond lady? Which one was she?
The Solitaire. First one that you were talking about?
Rosie Carver. Rosie. She's a CIA agent. She's a rookie CIA agent, so she's very jumpy, very not experienced at all. And Bond's kind of making fun of that throughout the whole time too.
Right.
It's she doesn't really get much to do.
So, is she a CIA? I didn't catch that part if she is. I do remember her being extremely, what's the word? Extremely superstitious about the different icons and stuff that get left behind. Basically designed to scare these local people into doing something. I really didn't understand the plot. I guess, like you said, it's heroin.
Yeah, that's literally all it is. It's just Mr. Big selling heroin, and for some reason, Dr. Kananga's tied into it. The MI6 is investigating Dr. Kananga, and I think the CIA is investigating Mr. Big, and yet somehow they're tied together. And Bond's trying to figure out what the tie is, but and because they're in the Caribbean area, because they're in the Caribbean islands, of course the white people are going to have voodoo and that kind of stuff attached to it. So, when you're saying that she's very superstitious, it's she sees a voodoo charm or something, or our interpretation of a voodoo, cinema's interpretation of a voodoo charm, and, freaks out about it. It's just... I don't know. It's all just a mess. It's all just a whole hodgepodge mess in my brain, and I'm trying to remember it all. For some reason, Rosie is a double agent in a way. Right. I think she's working for somebody, and that somebody has her, killed shortly after she sleeps with Bond. So Bond has to go and find a new Bond girl.
Yeah, because that's the rule of the Bondverse. Yeah,
he has to have a Bond girl at least every 10 minutes. Like, if there's not a Bond girl in a 10-minute scenario, the movie's going to just not sell any money. But he met earlier, I mentioned Solitaire, when I was trying to remember Rosie Carver's name. Rosie Carver, by the way, played by Gloria Hendry. I don't think I said that. But Solitaire was a psychic who worked at, I think, in Harlem, maybe? No. She worked with Kananga.
She worked, directly with Kananga.
Right.
Or Mr. Big.
And she's played by Jane Seymour.
Yep.
Yeah, and Bond I remember Bond tricked her into sleeping with him.
Right. And she said, I had to. It was in the cards.
It was in the cards, yeah. So it's like, it wasn't technically, like, rape. Like, he didn't... Yeah. She did consent to it because she thought the cards told her to. He lied his way into her pants.
This is true. It was a little gross. I feel like if she found out later, she would be upset. But
I think an argument could be made for rape.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a coercion for sure, maybe.
Yeah, coercion. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because she is a tarot card reader. She's a psychic. She gives tarot card readings. I don't remember the version of the tarot card reading she did, but it was like it was very similar to like the cross, but it wasn't the what's it called? The Celtic cross? Is that what it's called?
I don't know, man.
My tarot card's bad, man. I don't know either. I'm sorry, tarot card users and all Wiccans out there.
Yeah, I'm sure she probably did it wrong.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Bond, he replaces her tarot card deck with the Lovers. Like, it's all just the Lovers. And, he's trying to do his best to seduce her, and she's, being like, nope, I work for Kananga, stay away from me. And he's like, well, why don't you try your cards? And she flips the card over, and it's the Lovers, and she's like, oh, I should sleep with this man.
I must.
And she does. And the funny thing is, once she takes Bond's penis... she loses her psychic abilities because that's how it works.
That's how it works. She has to stay chaste.
And now Kananga's pissed about that, so Kananga's like, nope, you gotta die.
And that's pretty much the end of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, somewhere in the process, Kananga knocks out Bond. Like, Bond is unconscious. Mm-hmm. Maybe Mr. Big knocks out... spoilers. The reason we're getting them mixed up is not because we're white racists. It's because Mr. Big and Kananga are the exact same fucking person.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, just to explain that we're not being racist. Kananga / Mr. Big is played by Yaphet Kotto.
Yes. And he wears
a prosthetic, for Mr. Big.
And I like that scene when he takes the prosthetic off. That's an awesome scene.
Because honestly, the whole time I was watching it, I was like, man, did the actor who played Mr. Big get into some kind of accident at one point? That's what I was thinking. I feel rude for thinking that, but it's like, I was like, man, his nose and brow is just all fucked up.
Well, you know who did get into an accident? Mr. Big or Kananga's henchman, Teehee, who's got a pincher, it's called here on Wikipedia, pincher-tipped prosthetic arm.
Yeah,
he has an arm that, it's in a claw, but it's a pincher hook.
It's just like the claw from Inspector Gadget, except for it does more things. If you're not looking, if you're not looking and then turn back around, it can turn into a different pincer and be used for something else. Like at the end of the movie, doesn't he using it to open up a bottle of wine or something like that?
He's the iconic Bond story trope of, all right, story's over with, time to travel away with the new Bond girl and sleep with her. Right. And then immediately they're attacked by one leftover assassin. And in this movie, the leftover assassin was Teehee. And Bond disposes of him in, appropriate Bond fashion. Only for the movie to end, spoilers, by showing that another henchman was on the front of the train. I don't remember which henchman that was, though.
I don't know, but it could have been Whisper. He might be my favorite henchman of all time, at least yet so far. Whisper is played by Earl Jolly Brown, and he's this bigger guy, and he comes in dressed up like a room steward or something, dropping off another person dropping off room service, another trope in Bond.
Yeah.
And he just whispers, and Bond's like, what was that? And he just whispers it again. He's like, oh, okay. Like, every time he says something, people have to say, what?
He can only whisper. That's it. He is who he is.
But he's, like, super strong. It's hilarious.
It is pretty good. There are hilarious, there are fun things. I will mention that. But I remember I brought up Teehee because somehow Kananga / Mr. Big knocks Bond unconscious. And instead of just killing Bond there while he's unconscious, he's like, Teehee, take him away. Go kill him elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And Teehee takes him down to the Deep South. I think Bond got knocked out in Harlem, but he wakes up in the Deep South. And he's on a gator pond, or maybe it was crocodiles. And, Teehee is feeding the crocodiles and everything. And he rows Bond out to an island in the middle of the lake. It's like, I say an island. It's like a stone on the ground. It's tiny. And he's like, okay, bye, Bond.
Are you sure the confrontation between him and Kananga or whatever, hey, I said it right, Kananga wasn't in Florida?
I mean, it could have been, but,
I know at one point they were in Harlem. But
yeah. They're in New York, and then they're in an island in Caribbean, and then they're in Florida, and then I think they were in Louisiana at one point.
You're right. I do recall that.
None of it made sense. Just show me one fucking graphic that shows where we're at. Something.
Yeah,
maybe they did.
Something in the corner.
Maybe they did. Maybe. I just didn't even notice.
Maybe.
Yeah. I couldn't stand it. Every single scene, I was just like, where the fuck are we now? This is a completely different area.
This is not how travel works. You're not Doctor Who.
What I wanted to mention was Bond. But Bond gets left on a little rock in the middle of this lake, surrounded by gators and crocodiles and what have you. And it's an exciting scene. He escapes using gators. It's really cool. But why the fuck didn't they just kill him when they had him unconscious in the boss's fucking floor?
I don't know, man. You could ask that about any movie with said formula.
I know. It bothers me so much in this one because I'm just like, oh, cool, they got him unconscious. All right, shoot him.
Yeah, that's it.
You haven't bothered at all about the other 3 MI6 agents who you just shot. Just kill him here. You can change the carpeting. You're fucking Kananga / Mr. Big. You got that heroin money. What the fuck, man?
All right. Well, I don't know. I guess we talked about the movie. Should we do our closing statements?
I think we did.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like this movie. But I do appreciate it for what it did. It's like they are getting more diverse casting. That's true. Nice. To research voodoo and that kind of stuff. They did actually travel to Haiti, I believe, but they couldn't, for whatever reasons, film in Haiti, so they filmed in, I think, Jamaica. That's why I thought it was in Jamaica.
Gotcha.
But, I do appreciate them for going out of their way to, try to do a story with a lot more diverse cast, black actors and everything involved. My God, this one is just boring as it's just all over. It's just a huge mess. The blaxploitation feeling, because they use a lot of they use honky a lot and pimp mobiles, and they got a lot of blaxploitation tropes. It just feels weird coming from white filmmakers.
Yeah. Thankfully, they never use slurs on the opposite side, which I feel definitely cut deeper than saying my ears hearing honky. That does not affect me.
No.
But I'm sure I'm happy they didn't go the other way around, because then I'd be like,
right.
Yeah, I'm not about this movie.
Yeah, well then it wouldn't have been so much like, it would have been just racist, like flat out.
Yeah.
But this movie does seem to try to toe on the line of being correct for, especially for the 70s, like, they did what they could. But like, it just feels weird at times.
Yeah.
And, again, also, first black blonde girl, that's exciting.
Yeah.
They didn't use her at all or give her any kind of good characteristics, so that was upsetting. But,
yeah, she was just
paves
scared.
the way for the future. But no, I give it 2 stars. Like, I did not like it, but it's okay still. I don't think it falls below the 2-star mark. It's still watchable.
Yeah. I don't recommend it if you're doing what we're doing and watching along. Then it's not the worst one I've watched so far. It didn't even make me the most upset. And I think that's because I recognize that maybe they were trying to do something better for the industry at the time. But the line that they're walking, so wibbly wobbly.
Oh yeah.
But they made a movie. It's a Bond movie, and that's all I gotta say about it. And I want to see what else Roger Moore has, because this was not a great first meeting.
I'm willing to give him a second chance. I mean, he was the character for the longest, more than anybody. So there had to be a reason, right?
Right.
So yeah. I'm assuming the next ones should be good. I will also say, because I'd forgotten this until now, it does have a very fascinating villain kill off. Like the way they kill, sorry to spoil that he dies, but the way they kill Kananga and Mr. Big is very entertaining. Bond, hold on, I gotta get the exact details right.
Yeah, because I forget.
Here it is. Bond escapes, and this is directly from Wikipedia because I'm lazy. Bond escapes and forces Kananga to swallow a compressed gas pellet used in shark guns.
Oh, right!
Causing,
that was the bonkerest thing!
Causing Kananga to inflate and explode.
Yeah, it was so crazy that I just blanked it out of my mind. It was the most shocking thing that ever happened. I feel like,
oh my God,
compared to some of the other Bond movies, this one was set more in realism, where that physics works anyways, until this moment. And it's what? What happened?
It was
when did Willy Wonka get involved? I don't understand.
That's how I felt when it happened. I was literally just what is it? This is Bond, right? What the fuck?
What just happened?
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I loved it. It was so fun.
That part
was the only thing about it. The rest of it, forgettable. As this episode attests, because by golly, that was a fucking hard one to pull out of my ass.
Yeah, honestly, I had a little bit of trouble with talking about it. Yeah, because it was so strange that it was hard to remember. That's how I felt.
Right. But hopefully the next one is great. And the next one is, do I have it here somewhere? Of course not. James Bond film series. The Man with the Golden Gun.
Nice.
Well, that's been the show. And
that has been the show. And I have been the Faceless Leon. And I keep on talking over Greenie.
It's because of the internet lag. It's all it is.
Yeah. Well, we hope you did enjoy. Safe travels. And good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts.
Thank you so much for listening.